Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My friends, I'm making this short and sweet. What are we watching? Star Trek Lower Decks Season 2, Episode 1, Strange Energies. How was Season 1? Utterly marvelous. Please watch it if you haven't. My friends, what do we do now? That's easy. If you could do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ringy-ding-ding that bell for notifications for any time we go live here on YouTube with our Star Trek or science fiction related material. And if you would like that same material early or in longer format, please join us over on Patreon. That link is in the description. But my friends, even the fantastic Season 1, all of that is then. This is now. And now, we turn our attention to Star Trek Lower Decks Season 2, Episode 1, Strange Energies. And for the first time this season, prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And away we go. Here we go, here we go. Holy shit, I'm pumped. What are we looking at? Well, that's a Cardassian ship. It's Cardassian colors, anyway.
Apologies for the delay. You aren't the only Federation spy I'm interrogating today. Ensign
What?
We'll see if you're so cavalier after a taste of my excruciator.
What is going on?
It's only been a couple of months working with my mom instead of behind her back. The line between mom stuff and captain stuff has gotten real fuzzy.
Your captain is your mother?
Yeah, lady, everybody knows that. Keep up.
Keep up. Oh.
I used to sneak away and do all sorts of little off-the-book side missions without cluing her in.
God, I love Beckett.
Guards!
Yeah, come on in, guards. Please let this be real, not a holodeck. Oh my God.
Wait, for going to the Titan, but you knew I wanted to get a promotion. You're supposed to be my mentor.
You snuck off in the middle of my shift without saying goodbye.
Oh my God. He didn't say goodbye?
Look, I'm a hologram, okay? I'm sure real Boimler had his reasons. I don't know, maybe did you ever intimidate him?
It is a holodeck. Is this her, like, training routine?
Like, I never asked for special treatment. That is not my style. I mean, I won't turn it down, though. Oh, wait, does that make me a bad person?
You are an extremely bad person.
She is not a bad person.
Life is all about change. I just always thought she'd kick me out of Starfleet.
That's the Reliant. That's the Reliant, isn't it? 1877? Oh, those are fast attack craft? This little, like, destroyer things they have, right?
Such a computer plus program? What do you want, Jennifer?
Jennifer!
So you work out by staging Cardassian prison breaks.
Yeah, what do you do?
Yoga?
Wow, how unique.
Whatever. Captain wants you in her ready room.
Look, I know we're not supposed to have
Jennifer.
personal conflict, but I really hate that Andorian. All right, here we go. Computer, resume program.
I love Beckett Mariner. Oh, okay, so we're at the credits. Oh my gosh. Oh, I gotta watch. Somebody told me that they changed things. Normally I like to talk during these, but I'm gonna make sure I pay attention to see if they've added anything, because someone told me that sometimes they do, and I'm sure I'll miss it, but okay, so we hit that before. Do we hit it again? Yep. Oh, the battle's different. There are different craft in there. I mean, the Romulans were there last season, too. Now, this should have that thing eaten in a cell. Look at me. Look at me remembering something I watched 10 times. It's just a good ship. Got our ass handed to her in episode 10, but gotta love this show.
Captain's log. The Cerritos is finishing second contact duties on Apragos.
Apragos.
On a personal note, my daughter has yet another side mission request. It's getting a bit old.
They're both feeling the same way.
Officially, no. Starfleet does not prioritize aesthetics. But as your cool mom, I say go for it.
The away team is awaiting your orders.
Ransom was in the room.
Oh, and Jack, make sure Mariner gets whatever she needs.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, Jack's not gonna like this.
He probably has a huge room to himself on the Titan.
Yeah, he's probably so excited about serving with Riker.
Well, the Titan's way bigger.
Okie dokie. Ensign Barnes just confirmed our date for tonight.
Oh,
Actually, you went on a date with Barnes last year, and it wasn't a good match.
throwback.
Ensign Barnes is super cool.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Does Rutherford seem off?
he doesn't remember.
Tendy, if Rutherford dating someone bugs you, maybe you should talk to him.
No, I don't care about that.
That's actually really good advice, Beckett.
It's a rare condition that affects cyborgs with new implants. First, your opinions change. Then, your brain liquefies and melts out of your nose. Luckily, this is exactly what I've been training for. I will save my friend!
Uh-oh. Obsession Tendy. Where are we now? Is this the power washing?
Gravitas. Digits our grandchildren can be proud of.
Yes.
Digits our grandchildren. Jesus.
This one's got gravitas.
Too close to my ex-girlfriend's number.
I actually feel that one, though.
I'm in command of this mission, Ensign. Get me my
Yeah.
pads.
But I am authorized by the captain to do my own.
Oh, I don't like this, Mariner.
He is not.
Here's those pads, sir. Stack them just the way you like.
Get away from me, Stevens.
Oh, Stevens. Stevens. I like Stevens.
The ancient ones decorated these buildings. You seeing this?
Is this Sonic power washer?
Who knows what you'll find under all this soot?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
We got sci-fi stuff happening over here.
We got sci-fi stuff. Hey, we like sci-fi stuff here.
Sir, I'm reading the build-up of strange energies.
He said the thing. Oh, Jack was trying to save her.
Calm down, Stevens. He's gonna be fine.
Don't lie to me.
Holy shit.
Looks like you took a full load of strange energy straight to the cortex.
What is strange energy, Doctor?
Electrical phenomena with unknown properties. It can have all sorts of physical effects.
Gary Mitchell!
Brain even endow godlike powers.
Humanity has a complicated relationship with organized religion.
Holy shit! Oh my god, it's my favorite guy I've watched so far in TOS. Where No Man Has Gone Before. Gary Lockwood plays Gary Mitchell. I got that! I got an Easter egg!
I have to figure out the right harmonic frequency that will disrupt his power cycle.
Holy shit.
What is he doing now?
He is curling trees.
He seems to be focusing on his buys and tries.
Hey, sweetheart, just checking in on the mission.
It's the first time we've seen him since the beginning of season 1.
Okay, so what's with all the discs?
They provide a low-level shock.
A shock? There's
Shock.
of them.
Reacting to pain can often kick neurons right back into place.
Tendy, what's going on here?
Tell you in a minute.
That one was worse.
After
That one was worse.
do you still like pears?
Yes.
Do you still like Barnes, is what she's... Now, this all happened to Jack because he tried to save Mariner.
I never should have authorized you to break mission parameters.
How was I supposed to know this was all gonna go all ransom on the mount?
Ransom on the mouth, Jesus. What's he doing? Oh, dear God.
Mom, I feel that you are not listening to me. I am going to calm him down by
Yeah, but
blasting him.
Beckett...
You say that.
No.
What I hear?
Beckett Unbridled is not good. Oh no, Doctor.
Stop pretending to like each other. It's making me furious.
Oh,
Superior to all of you.
he's got his full godlike robes.
I bow.
Stevens!
Sir?
Emergency transport to sick bay for Commander Ransom now.
Oh, he fought off the transport.
Doc, how did they deal with Gary Mitchell?
Or smushed him with a boulder.
Gary Mitchell was an ant.
Bullshit. Gary Mitchell was amazing. Just ripped his head off. That's new.
Great. I think your friend is gonna shoot you.
What now?
Tendy, what are you doing?
I'm in medical. He has SMD. I'm just saving his life.
SMD.
What's in those hypo sprays?
Medical venom.
Medical venom?
I'll have to get your brain out of your skull and freeze it so I can nano-suture your dendrites by hand.
Jesus, Tendy? This is Obsessed Tendy. We've seen Obsessed Tendy before.
It will be done. Behold the first coming of Ransom.
Well, this is going to be a hell of a reverse engineer.
Is this gym equipment?
He's creating his own Jack Utopia.
It's gym equipment. It is gym equipment.
If we can't nullify his powers, we should boost them.
What?
Why the hell would we do that?
There's a chance it could short out his godliness.
A chance?
Hit that head with everything you've got. Doc says it'll overload him.
me your phasers!
Feed me your phasers.
Why are you doing this, Jack? Stand down!
I used to be your
Number one. Yep.
I don't wanna work with her!
Yeah. She's an ensign. I mean,
I want my braid right where it is.
I'm just borrowing it. I'll give it right back.
Jesus, Tandy.
Force field, corridor 755.
Nice job.
We have to trust each other.
Well, then maybe we shouldn't be friends.
Oh, I saw that coming.
You don't have synthetic memory degradation.
What?
She's just trying to spend time with you.
Hey, wait, I hate being your sidekick.
And I hate the way you question me all the time.
Then let's go back to being a captain and an ensign. Dear God. I wonder if Ransom will remember any of this. I'm assuming they get him back. God, the Cerritos, man. She's not a big ship. She can't.
SMD, but there's definitely something wrong with you.
He's just different.
So you were utilizing highly invasive neuromedical procedures
He's gonna be okay
in order
with
to
this.
make sure I liked you?
Yes, you can hate me.
Ha! How could I hate you? Tackling an emotional problem with scientific experimentation is exactly what I would have done. And how?
Also, don't date birds.
That's what it is.
He's growing hands!
He's growing hands. He's growing hands.
And I'm gonna go find a boulder.
No! Power down weapons!
Doc might be right.
Mariner and I haven't been honest, and you got caught in the middle. You're a great officer, Jack.
He really is.
Taking you for granted.
Captain, his power is diminishing.
Because he's fighting it.
Mom, you've gotta hit him. He's a god. You can't appeal to his
No.
ego forever.
Stand down,
Mariner.
Ensign. I've got this.
She has this.
Full stop, mister. This is my ship.
I wanna be the captain!
Okay, well, Mariner's right. She's attacking the pillars down there.
Happening down there.
Sorry, Mom. I had to take matters into my own feet.
Oh my God, she's just power kicking his nuts.
Mariner, what was I doing?
You were trying to eat the ship, sir. I had to apply concentrated force to your neutral zone.
Well, at least it reverted, but she just dropped a rock on Ransom.
I'm really sorry about the whole omniscient murder god thing, Captain.
Well, you just focus on getting better.
Yeah,
I
man.
need you by my side.
He's a hell of a first officer.
All right, big guy. Today I'll be reading you Nightingale Woman. Thanks, little buddy.
Stevens, what a great addition.
I'm proud you're my daughter, but I can't stand sharing command with you.
Because you're the captain, and you're a damn good one.
Love you, Mom.
Love you too. Never disobey me again.
I do what I want.
I do what I want.
So your brains aren't going to melt?
Nope, I mean, not from the implant. But we're in Starfleet, so who knows what's gonna happen next week.
There's a castle drawn.
One of his synaptic pathways.
Oh, that's nice. Which one?
I hate pears again. They're so mealy and bland. Pears.
Fuck pears.
I mean, think of all the fun adventures he's going on. Working with Riker on a ship that's way cooler than the Cerritos.
Oh, this is going to be a great flashover. Oh, yeah, this will be great.
Someone punch me a way out. Taking us into the anomaly. Brace for gluonic disruption. What?
Gluonic what? Oh, Jesus, that was quick. Over so quickly. Star Trek Lower Decks Season 2, Episode 1, Strange Energies. Oh, there's only one thing left to do, my friends, and that's to talk about it. All right, my friends, we just got finished watching Star Trek Lower Decks Season 2, Episode 1, Strange Energies. Again, this was another, we had an episodic episode as far as, you know, problem of the week type of thing, but we had a ton of callbacks to what happened in last season. So it seems like the only way to kind of advance, I mean, really you can't address Rutherford's, you know, amnesia, you know, memory loss without referring back to season 1. It's sort of impossible to do that. Plus you had to explore the Beckett and Carol relationship, and that's again going to be another callback. We've got Boimler over on the Titan. You have to be, I mean, so I pretty much should have realized that the episodic is going to kind of maintain for the problems, it looks like, but we definitely have entered a more serialized narrative here as far as they sort of have to refer to this stuff to go forward. I'm sure that there'll be episodes where they are able to kind of segment it off and not really have to do callbacks, but I think we're deep into a more advanced story now, and I love it. Really good stuff. With this one, I think my favorite part of this one was the fact that we got a Gary Mitchell callback. Oh, my friends, for those of you that are watching the original series reactions and watch-alongs, where no man has gone before to date, I'm several episodes into season 1, but to date, where no man has gone before is one of my very, very favorite Star Trek experiences. And it is in no small part to the incredible acting of Gary Lockwood, who is the actor that plays Gary Mitchell. If you haven't seen that classic episode of Star Trek, I strongly recommend it. It is incredibly good. Gary Lockwood, I mean, acts his ass off. He does an amazing job as Gary Mitchell. Such a fantastic character. I'll explain it this way. Gary Mitchell is the NPC guest star, non-primary crew member that I gauge every single other guest star NPC, supporting cast against, because his performance was so utterly amazing that it is the gold star standard for what I expect from anybody that's joining the show for an episode or two or whatever, shorter than, our mainstays. Unreal. And to see him in animation standing there, with the hand out, oh my God, that character is ridiculously awesome. I was so hoping that they would say something or allude to the fact that he did not die when the rock was dropped on him, because oh, drop a rock on him. So that must be at least the accepted standard of how he went out. I mean, sure, he could still be alive. This is me talking about Where No Man Has Gone Before, though. Gary Mitchell is a ridiculously amazing character. So with that being said, Gary Mitchell callback was my very favorite part of this episode. This episode, again, anytime I offer any type of criticism towards an episode, unless I state otherwise, it is me nitpicking. It is me simply having an incredible smorgasbord of episodes and stories at this point to pull from. I have to kind of, in my mind, slot them in where I think that they would go. And while by no means do I think Strange Energies is a poor episode by any stretch of the imagination, coming off of Veritas and Crisis Point and No Small Parts, this one was, a really good episode. In my mind, it wasn't like, great. And I'm sort of glad about that, because we needed an episode that they had a lot of heavy lifting to do from season 1 they needed to kind of address. And here's one of my questions that I had from season 1 that maybe you all can help me with. I don't know this. And again, anytime I look anything up on the internet, I get something spoiled or ruined for me. So I just don't do it. You all are so great with the non-spoilery kind of aids and advice and things like that, I mean, I just default to you all, because you're way more learned about this stuff than I am. And you're kind with your approach to giving me the information. So I appreciate it so much. So here's my question, everybody. When they did season 1 of Lower Decks, did they know, or when did they know they were getting a season 2? Or was it like they were signed on from the jump with 2 seasons? The only reason why I asked that is I'm curious to know, because it's animation. And so there's definitely kind of like a preamble or there's a definite, I mean, you can find out in live action that you're getting a second season, and then you can tailor the end of your first season accordingly because you're shooting it live and blah, blah, blah. And that happens quite a bit, especially with longer run series that might have been renewed and they're going from like a season 4 to a season 5, and they're just not sure, and the network's not sure. And then halfway through the production of 4, they learn that they're getting another season, and so they can kind of make adjustments to end on a cliffhanger or whatever they need to do. I think that's my question for this, because it appears to me that they didn't know. Well, I mean, it really could go either way for me. I wouldn't be surprised by either answer, that they knew they were getting it or they didn't know they were getting it. Because with this episode, it was some necessary house cleaning. We had to address the relationship between Tendi and Rutherford. That was something that needed to be brought up to speed. We need to know how Rutherford was, how Tendi was accepting how Rutherford was, Rutherford's reacclimation into, the Cerritos with his new implant after having, the damage of having his other one ripped out in episode 10 of last season. That had to be taken care of, and they did. I think it was a little over the top. They kind of, and I understand exactly why they did it. Tendi's character has expressed before that she is very concerned about having people like her. In fact, that's maybe her greatest gift and her greatest flaw is that need for acceptance. The gift being that she's always incredibly empathetic and kind and observant of others. And then the con being she needs to have that kind of reciprocated. She needs to know that she's doing a good job. That's a very kind of, peanut butter and jelly type of answer to that, but that's sort of where she goes. And the other thing is the obsession that she has in kind of having people like her. She gets obsessed with it, like we saw whenever, during the Ascension episode, when she desperately was trying to get O'Connor to, like her, and then she was just so intent on getting that done. O'Connor, I think it's O'Connor. But anywho, so we definitely needed some touch. Like, how was that affecting the two of them? And we got a bit of a resolution for that, at least to the point where, Rutherford's always going to be Rutherford as far as being a kind person. We didn't see any type of that aggression that Rutherford had either, other than when he was being shocked, but that was understandable. Rutherford seems to be a blank slate again, slowly refilling with the information for the Cerritos, which is sad in a way, because I really, really enjoyed Rutherford's character. And I think that he had made some great advancements and offered some really telling, like, hooks with the things that were going on. I'm sure we'll see something like that again. And Tendi, I just think Tendi is heading towards a reckoning. She's got a lot going on, and I'm not sure how well she's addressing it. There's a lot of like psychological, emotional things that the writers kind of infuse into these characters. And I don't want to say they're time bombs. I think it's a terrible way to address, like mental health concerns or, emotional concerns. So, but the definition isn't incorrect in that, there are these things that if they're not addressed and if they're not taken care of and if they're not worked through, are going to be major things later as they grow and kind of fester. And I think that's what we're kind of seeing with Tendi. She always seems to kind of like paper over what's going on so other people will feel more comfortable. And that's what I'm getting from this. Like, she was like, oh, she made her confession, and then she said, but don't date Barnes. And that was a kind of a breach through that paper. Anywho, they had to get that done. And they also had to get done the Carol and Beckett, situation. That was untenable. There's no way that they could maintain this partnership that they had kind of agreed to at the end of season 1, because they're both just two independent thinkers. I mean, it's not that so much that they're mother and daughter. They're both very similar. I mean, obviously because of being mother and daughter, but they both have a way of doing things. Now, of course, Carol is more by the book because she's the captain, and Beckett's just, Beckett's the pure gut instinct of everything. Neither of them are wrong. I think they're much better together, but the problem is they're just like oil and water. They can work when they need to, but in small doses. Like they said, we'll do a side mission every now and again. That'll satiate the mother-daughter thing, and at the same time be able to allow us to professionally work together, which is really the main draw of all of this. So they were able to, they had to get through that. They had to basically come to a resolution of how this was going to advance into season 2, to kind of not clean up from season 1, but to kind of just, tie a bow on what we had ended season 1 with. And they did that. And so I think what my thing is with Strange Energies is, do we have a problem? Yes, Ransom becomes a god. We got the Gary Mitchell throwback. That's awesome. Ransom kind of expressed his own insecurities, but it wasn't really something that we couldn't guess from Ransom. He really, he never expressed any type of like disdain for Captain Freeman or second guessing Captain Freeman. Like, he might have disagreed, but he was never like a vehement disagreement with Captain. He always seemed like he really respected her, and I'm convinced that Ransom does. That Ransom truly respects Captain Freeman. He's proud to serve under her. Before you all warned me, you said, listen, there's more to Ransom than this meathead, kind of narcissistic, first officer. And I agree with that now. I truly do. And I don't think I've even seen the beginning of what Ransom has to offer as far as a Starfleet officer and a first officer to the Cerritos. Because, that would have been Beckett with that power, which could have been substantially worse considering Beckett's chaos and chaotic mind and decisions and things like that. But he ran forward to save her. Now, again, it picked a target, when it lanced out, and it could have always been going for Ransom, maybe, or whatever. But I liken that to a heroic effort to save a crew member, and he sacrificed himself for that. And I have to give him a ton of props for that, because Ransom has never displayed a unwillingness to put himself in danger. In fact, Ransom has displayed, if he has the choice, he will throw himself into an absolutely terminal situation, or perceived terminal situation, to save any member of the crew. And what else can you ask from a first officer? I mean, anywho, I'm really starting to like Ransom, and I'll be honest, and again, spoilers for anybody that hasn't watched season 1, with the loss of Shax, I have to make, as a viewer and as an appreciator of this fine show, I am going to make a more concerted effort to really look at all the peripheral members, not just the lower decks crew, to make sure that, I'm understanding them and I'm giving them as much due as what they were. The writers obviously love these characters too. And I had a great comment from somebody earlier, and I'm so sorry I forget your name, but somebody made an excellent point, and they said, you know what, it looks as if these characters, the bridge crew, was very one-dimensional in the first couple episodes. I completely agree with that. This person said, Captain Freeman kind of stole ideas and was sort of arrogant and blah, blah, blah. And that's exactly the way she was portrayed in the first couple episodes, as somebody they didn't really mean to spend a whole lot of time with, if that makes sense. But later, we get to see that she is able to, she grows, and especially with the relationship with Beckett. And the same thing goes, we didn't get a whole lot of Shax before he passed, but again, we got enough that character had way more to give, and it was more than just, a set piece. Shax had a lot. So the Doc, Captain Freeman, Ransom, I'm looking at all of these people, even people like Billups, the chief engineer, and now we have Stevens, who is, I guess, the right-hand man of Ransom. I want to give all these people their due, because these writers have proven one thing. They don't put fat into their stories. They don't just throw shit in to throw shit in, unless it's like an Easter egg, which that's part of their gig. But when they put something into this meat of the story, something original, like a Stevens, when they put something in there and they say, hey, look, here's something new. It's not like, hey, look, there's something new and something shiny, distract. They're not doing that. That's lazy writing for them. For them, they are building towards something. I know enough about these writers to know that anytime they mention something that seems to be kind of Cerritos specific and not Easter eggy, or they introduce a character, we're going to see them again. I mean, hell, Barnes went a whole season from episode 1 in season 1 to episode 1 in season 2. We got to see Jennifer, who was just a background, when she ran into her, Mariner ran into her one time. It was like, get away, Jennifer, which is great, an Andorian named Jennifer. And somebody told me too that Tawny Newsome ad-libbed that and had no idea that the character that she ran into was going to be an Andorian. So she called her Jennifer, which the writers kept, which I think is hilarious. That is so good. It was just like, you know what? We got to keep this Andorian named Jennifer. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So, again, I like this episode for what it was. This was a transition episode. This was we're leaving season 1. We've got a few things we need to wrap up before we head into the meat of season 2. Here's how we're going to set everything. And at the end of this episode, we were given a launch pad for season 2. Everything from season 1, we're correcting it to the point where you need to be caught up. What's going on with Boimler? He's in like hell-raising situations that we can only assume the Titan got into, because if the Titan is like the spiritual predecessor or the spiritual successor to the Enterprise, it's going to have that crazy shit happening all the time, where it's Q here and then, diffusing a neutral zone infused or incursionary war, on the next day. So there's a lot more higher stakes going on the Titan, which I think was very easily represented in that short scene of just madness that happened at the end. And I think they were fighting the Packlids too, which is crazy. Again, just the writers know what they're doing, and they knew that with this episode, they had to clear the decks and make sure that we, the audience, was up to speed, that they had answered the questions that kind of left hanging at the end of season 1, to the point where they can say, okay, you know as much as we do, let's hit season 2. I think that's all there is to say, my friends. Did I hit everything I wanted to hit? Yep. Barnes, Stevens, Strange Energies, Gary Mitchell, who I love. Gary Mitchell's the fucking best. Okay, so anyway, my friends, that's it. And if you stuck with me this long, do me a favor. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications for any time we go live here on YouTube with any Star Trek or science fiction related material. And if you want these episodes early, join us over on Patreon, link in the description. But my friends, that's all there is to do until we hit season 2, episode 2, which is up next, my friends. So until then, I have one bit of homework for you. Make sure that you Vulcan roll, and I'll see you then.